make me stand in a corner naked, come in every hour and throw cold water on me. Mad street robberies, stealing cars, pulling people out of cars. It was literally that bad, do you understand what I'm saying?
Jimmy,
Yes.
how are you?
Not bad, thanks. How are you?
Thanks for coming down to the stool today. And unfortunately, had a very long journey coming down with the traffic, but we'll just jump straight into it. Just talk about your childhood, where you grew up, how you grew up.
From Leeds, in and out of school. So like, I went to a different school every year of my life. So every year I'd have to either because my mum had to move address or because of my behaviour or whatever. So yeah, what much school involved, it was always starting a new school every year. Childhood was ruthless. My mum was a heroin addict. She herself, obviously, she's got her own story, but she ended up on heroin when I was about 1 year old, 18 months old. So from then, everything I seen was just mad. So like from that age, I think when I remember as far back as like 6, 7. From before that, I don't have a clue. And like my mum she'd take us to, like when she was scoring, she'd be scoring, she'd be taking me and my sister, she'd be taking us with her. And like she used to be mad herself. Like she used to be on badness, like she'd be burgling houses, we'd be waiting outside, she'd be popping phone boxes on the school run, do you know what I mean, to get the change out of the phone boxes. She'd ring drug dealers and we'd be stood there and she'd be ringing drug dealers will turn up, she'll get in the car and then she'll do whatever, she'll get served, she'll get out and she snuck the phone, the drug dealer's phone from him, so then she'd be getting them ringing her saying, well, she's just saying, I want 5 items now.
Yeah.
I'll give you 4 back. And to a drug dealer, 5 items is nothing, so they'll come in and chuck in a 5 items. So I've seen that was at the age of 6, 7 years old. From then it was kind of mad. I think I was 8 years old. I was ruthless. Like when I was 8 years old, my mum would be couch on the sofa. She don't know where I am. It'd be 2, 3 in the morning. I'm out I used to live on an estate called Belbrooks in Leeds, which is a very, very bad estate. And the older lads used to stand and sell drugs at the bottom. And they used to get me on a scooter. And I used to be riding around at 8 years old, selling heroin, selling crack. And,
At 8?
At 8 years old. I used to smoke solids. I don't remember. So back then it wasn't weed. It was the little blocks of brown hash. And the guy that I used to sell it for used to buy me a packet of cigs and give me a block of solid worth about 20 quid. And at 8 years old, yeah, I'd be like a 16-year-old, basically, 17-year-old.
Did you attend primary school at all?
Yeah, barely. So we used to have social services turn up at the door saying why are the kids at school. My mum would be asleep on the sofa. So it started there, really. Then school used to try pick us up. So they'd send a teacher out to pick us up from home. The teacher would be turning up, we'd be asleep, my mum would be couch, teacher banging on the door. So they got sick of that, basically. Boom, stopped that. And then in the end, we ended up getting took into care. So they took me and my sister. My little brother was born at this time as well. He was like 1 year old. But they let my brother stay at home first. And then they took me and my sister into foster care, split us up. And then from 8 years old, I was in foster care.
So what was your foster care journey like?
So I moved, because I was a bad kid already. Obviously, imagine me, 8 years old, running wild, doing what I wanted, to then going into a strict foster home where they've got rules. And I still think now they were very, very, very strict. So because the man that my mum was with at the time, my little brother's dad, he's a Muslim, and I'm not a Muslim, but he told the social services, I have to go to a Muslim family. So the first foster carers I had, they were Muslim, and they believed that we should come home from school, study in your bedroom with no TV, go to mosque. I'm getting forced to go to mosque and I'm not even a Muslim, do you know what I mean? Go to mosque, then come home and you go back to your bedroom. So you as an 8-year-old child, you've got no TV. You're studying in your room. I had to share a room with a 10-year-old girl. And it's like, I think that's not even right in the first place, do you know what I mean?
Right,
So I used to, my auntie, my mum's cousin, she used to live at the bottom of the road where my mum used to go when she didn't have what to do. She used to just go to that house. So I used to know to run to that house I'd be able to get a break. I might get something to eat that I like, or be able to watch TV or play with a game. Do you know what I mean? So I used to run away, and then it got to the point where social services are saying, "Why do you keep running away?" So I explained it to them. Then they've put me with another family, another Muslim family. It was exactly the same, where it was way too strict especially for somebody who's come from not having no rules whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what it was. I used to run away from there, complain to the social services. Then sent me to another foster carer it was a white family, but there was temporary, so there was lots of kids there. It wasn't a care home, it was a foster care house, but they fostered lots of kids temporarily till they find somewhere more permanent. And there was it was mad, lots of kids. It was just, they used to take us everywhere we wanted to go. And then I think it was a kick in the teeth when you actually enjoy somewhere, and then they tell you, right, you've got to go to this home now. This is not your forever home. Do you know what I mean? So I went from there to another foster carer who was strict, but they was very nice. They was very, very nice. You got to do things. They was white as well, but they was a well-off white couple. And they used to take us out every weekend, take us all sorts of places. But there you had a bedtime. You had to go get in your dress, in your night, whatever. I didn't even know what one was. You know what I mean? You'd have to get changed at 6 o'clock, get into your night, go in your pajamas. That's what they are. Yeah, and that was it from there. So I enjoyed it there, but then my mum got disowned, obviously, because my mum's family, my grandma, all these, they're obviously strict with Indian, with Sikhs. So they were strict Sikhs, and my dad, my real dad, who my mum was married to, was very abusive to my mum. So when she used to run away back to my grandma's, they didn't want a divorced daughter.
Yeah.
So it was always go back to the point she didn't have no one to turn to, which is why she ran away. So then she got disowned from the family. But then they found out that we're in foster care now. So they've got in touch with the social services and said to the social services, "Oh, we'd like to have them." But obviously my sister was a bit more wiser than me. So my sister was all about my mum. Whereas now she knew, she was a bit old, she was 11 years old, 12, I think. Well, by the time these found out, we didn't care. I think I was 10, my sister was 11, turning 12. And my sister said no. But then when she said, we'll go visit them, but we're not moving in with them. So as we're going to visit them, obviously me as a boy, they're just showering me with game cubes, PlayStations, money, whatever. So then I'm thinking, whoa, I've never had that in my life. Like I say, you're lucky if I got a Mars bar a week, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I've just seen money and everything. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to live with them. Went and lived with them, but there was a problem. Because my mum brought me up, I got brought up speaking English.
Yeah.
I've never heard my language spoke around me like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know my own language. Someone speaks my language to me, I don't understand it. My grandma doesn't speak English. So I'm now living with my grandma. I'm being naughty at school, getting sent home from school. My grandma's giving me a load of shit I'm not swear.
Yeah.
Giving me a load of shit. And I'm laughing. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like this little, inside, I'm like this little white kid.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like this little English kid who getting shouted at in a different language. So obviously I used to find it funny. So then my aunties used to have to get involved, and there's loads of people. So then my auntie said, "Oh, your grandma's finding it difficult. Can you come live with us?" So then I've gone and live with my auntie. But my auntie and my mum hated each other, the sisters, and they couldn't stand each other. And it's like, I got the backlash of that then. So I'm living with my auntie, but I'm getting treated a certain way by my auntie because of the hatred towards my mum. So that's how I felt at the time. That might not have been the case now, but at the time, that's how I felt. Like anything that I did wrong was just at me. Like I felt like they was just being horrible to me constantly. So then I used to complain to the social services again, saying, "Look, I don't want to be here. They're horrible to me." I think I started stealing. I was only 10, 11. I think my uncle's, my auntie's husband, he got a contract phone, but he never used it. I remember the Motorola Razors, the flip ones, the thin ones.
Yeah.
And he's got one on contract, but not used it, put it in a box. And I used to take it out of the box, take it to school, and then fold it back up, and then take it back, put it back in the box on an evening, thinking he wouldn't know. And then obviously I don't know, contracts get a bill.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've received the bill, and then that's when I got caught, and then it just started from there. Problems started happening. I was getting kicked out from school, bad reports from school, and then I said to the social services, I want to go back to the family that I lived with before I come here, and they got back in touch with them, and they said, yeah, we'll have him back. They told my mum if she got clean and sorted herself out, we'd be able to go home. So my mum come off drugs. She literally went clean. She was clean for a year, and then they said to her, right, now you need to get your house. Right, how can your kids come home? You haven't got your own house. So then she went and got a house in Armley, on an estate in Armley, which is where I grew up. From then, obviously, from after there. Then they said to her, right, now you need to be stable. Like, how are you going to provide for your kids? So then she went and got a voluntary job as a drugs worker, because she'd been clean for however long, obviously showed potential. So she got a job as a drugs worker, well, voluntary. And then after a year, they give her a paid job. So by the time I was 14 years old, social services will come and says, right, your mum's done this, she's done that, do you want to go home? So me and my sister ended up going home. And then, we ended up in Armley, which is itself probably another one of the worst places to live in Leeds. At first, obviously, because when I'm 14 now, and I've come out and I'm allowed to play out again, I'm allowed to go do things on my own again, which I wasn't allowed to do while I was in foster care. So I remember there was a group of lads, I was playing football outside my house on my own, and a group of lads have come down, walked down, and they was like, they must have seen me a few times. And they turn around and says, oh, you're always playing football out here on your own, why don't you come play football with us? So I thought, all right, cool. But I'm going and playing football with them, but I didn't know that there was other things that went on in that group besides just chilling, do you understand what I'm saying? So it was like, I already had the mindset of a criminal because of the things that I'd seen my mum do. Like, I've already had, all I seen was my mum steal. Do you know what I mean? So in my head, stealing it wasn't wrong. Even though I knew you shouldn't do it, it wasn't as bad as stealing is. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like, when I'm going with them, the first couple of weeks, we was literally we'd be chilling on the backfield playing football, we'd be riding bikes, but I didn't know where them bikes come from, and do you understand what I'm saying? So then slowly, like, I think one of the older lads had come home from jail. They was about 16, 17, and I was for 14. And then they'd come out from jail, and then from then they'd come back into this group, and he was the main who took everyone out stealing. And then then we started, was like, oh, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there used to be them little bikes that you pedal, and they kickstart into like a little motorbike. They're called pedal and pops, we used to call them. So it started off, we'd be pulling garage doors back, taking pedal and pops, and we used to call these other things called plaggy 90s. The people that'll be watching will know what a plaggy 90 is. And we used to just it started off taking them bikes, and then it just went from there, taking bikes, and we used to go around and do smash and grab, so be smashing windows, taking tom-toms out of cars, and then that's how I got into the criminality.
There was younger people, and then there were like older people.
Yeah, but I didn't meet the older people till I must have come at a time when these older lads are in jail.
Okay.
So these lot aren't really doing much, they're just chilling really, just little petty things, being naughty, like kids. They was being kids until these people come home from.
So when the older people came home, then what did it turn into?
Then that's when it turned into, like I say, first it was just stealing little things, smash and grabs. Then it turned into burglaries. I was mainly, because for me, I was a big kid and I could drive. So I remember the first car, when I was 14, when I first come home, my little brother's dad, he made me straight away join the cadets. because he thought, right, he's a bad kid. This is what will sort him out. But I met another bad kid in the cadets, and we decided to be bad together. And then I remember the first time, I was 14, and we went, and he showed me how to hotwire a car. So we've gone and hotwired the car, and we've had it for the night. And I learned to drive in that car. So now when I met these kids, I know how to drive at 14 years old. I was in school. I remember I went to school, and I bought a car. I nicked 200 quid out of my stepdad's bank account, and I went and bought a car for 200 quid. And that was my first car that I bought when I was 14 years old, and I just got addicted to driving. And then even I was driving to school, driving back from school. These lot were doing burglaries, but no one knew how to drive. So when they're getting car keys, I'm getting a phone call. Oh, come get this car out to drive. Come get this car. That was all my job was. I didn't used to really go in houses. I just used to wait for the car key to come out. Got to a point that bad in school as well, missing school all the time. And I got kicked out of the school that I was in when I come home to my mum. And then they sent me to a bad school, like I think it was called Skills for You, where you do bricklaying and stuff like that. You don't do schoolwork. And then I got kicked out of there because I threw cement in the teacher's face. That was at the end of year 9, or year 10, sorry. And then in year 11, my mum's begged the school, like, look, it's been 6 weeks holidays, can you take him back? So they said, yeah, we'll take him back. Took me back within 3 weeks. I was back out, kicked out for, I can't remember what that was for, to be honest with you. Yeah, so then I went to another bad school, and I stayed there till the end. But then I got kicked out of there for fighting. I had a fight with a kid outside of there. But because we met after, and outside of there, like, there was a field, we had a fight on that field after. So yeah, ended up getting kicked out of there, and that was it. There was no school for me, so it was just straight whatever.
So why are you not in school? So what are you getting up to? Because you're not in school anymore now.
I was driving cars, driving stolen cars. I was stealing, looking for things to steal. I was just literally. But then my little brother's dad, he was a horrible bastard. Like, when I say it to you, he's probably like, now I think of the things he used to do. Like, he was a really bad man. But then, because I was a kid, and my mum was off her head all the time, so she didn't really take in what was going on. Like, it was like he was disgusting. So it was like I wanted to stay away from. If he was there, I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So then it come to the point where I was being naughty, and he used to punish me for being naughty in a ruthless way. So like, he used to get into it. He'd make me stand in a corner naked, and then he'd come in every hour and throw cold water on me, and then go back out. And this would be for probably 10 hours, 11 hours, no joke. Like,
Isn't that like torture?
So he used to be in some sort of army. I can't remember what it was, and I think his brain was that sort of way. Do you know what I mean? So one time where I've come because before that he was involved in criminality as well. And the one time before we went into care, he's come and he's put something in. Some bedrooms have a boiler cupboard, don't they?
Yeah.
So he's opened the boiler cupboard. Obviously, there's nothing in there but a shelf on the top. And he's put something on the top shelf and then gone out. So I've grabbed the chair when he's gone out, pulled the chair to it, stood on it. And this is in my bedroom at about 7 years old. I'm tugging on this bag. The bags fell on the floor, made a big bang. Well, I'm thinking, whoa, what's going on there? My mum's come running upstairs, boom, with a gun in the bag. So it's like, from that age, I've seen, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a lot of things. So when even before I went into care, our house used to be a crack den. It used to be, crackheads used to come to our house and smoke crack in our house, smoke heroin in our house, whatever. And one time a guy's come to the house, one of my mum's friends, and he's gone to my mum, oh, can I just use the kitchen? Obviously, now I know what for. So my mum says, yeah, go to the kitchen. He's gone to the kitchen. Next thing you know, I've just heard a big doof. Gone into the kitchen, man was dead on the floor. I was like 7 years old.
Think you seen that?
Yeah,
7?
yeah. It was yellow in his face. I made a song about it. But yeah, yellow in his face. Like, I just remember, I still now get flashbacks from seeing his face. So we've all gone into the kitchen. He's laid on the floor. I just looked and he's just yellow, no colour in him. Do you know what I mean? My mum starts screaming, calls one of his family members from over the road. They've come down, everyone's just running around, call the ambulance, get this, get that. And I just remember them getting carried away. So, yeah. And then I think it was like all of the things that I'd seen, which led me to, when I got close to these kids, this group of people, it made me think this is where I'm supposed to be. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So, yeah. And then with them kids, it ended up being, like I say, it went on to burglaries, then it went on that to street robberies, and then it was anything like, I'm not even gonna lie, like it got to the point where I was stealing from home. Like I'm anything that I could. Do you know what I mean? Like literally anything that would get me money. And the worst thing was, I didn't even know what I'm spending money on pizzas. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I'm doing it to fit in. I'm doing it because everyone's stealing around me and coming out, and he's got a brand new pair of trainers on because he did this last night, and they're going for a takeaway, and I'm having to say, give a slice of that pizza. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like got to the point where I thought, like, I need to get some money.
Yeah.
So then I'm literally stealing to smoke weed and eat pizzas and maybe buy a pair of trainers that I can't even take home. Do you know what I mean? Like it were things like that. And then obviously, because I was so bad and my little brother's dad was so evil, it was like I never learned. I never thought, oh, I'm not gonna do this no more, because it was more like, what's he gonna do to me next? I've had the worst.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the things he used to do, like were unreal. So I had the worst. So in my head, I used to think, well, he's only gonna do this again. He's only gonna do that again. So I used to carry on to the point where I stopped going home. So I know now I've done something wrong. I know he's waiting for me when I go back. I'm not going home. So then I'm walking around all night, and now that leads to, what do I do? Commit crime. What do you understand what I'm saying? I need a hotel, I need this, I need to do that. How do I do this? How do I do that? If I go to someone's house and I've got no money, more likely, if I ain't got a joint to go smoke with him.
Yeah.
At 16, 15 years old, that's the mentality. Oh, he's not coming, he ain't got no weed, he ain't got this, he ain't got that, he's not coming in my house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you turn up at someone's house at 15 years old that smokes weed and say to him, oh, I've got a bag of weed, and then it's like, yeah, come in. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got somewhere to stay for the night. So that's what it got to the point where I'm now trying to make anything I can so that I don't have to go home, so I can go there with a £10 bag of weed. I used to go to one friend's house and steal his weed to go to somebody else's house and smoke it to be able to stay there.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that's how low it got. Like it got very low to the point I was sleeping on the bushes. Like I was homeless at that age basically. And then what had happened is, I think my mum would get onto my little brother's dad and say to him, look, like, he needs to come home. So then now, because she's getting onto him, he's worse now. He's angry because now he's had to come looking for me. So he's going and knocking on all my friends' doors, like everything. And now that's happened that many times. I'm not allowed in my friend's house no more, because every time, who wants someone in the house where they've got the parents knocking on the door saying, where is he? So I wasn't allowed in no one's house. And then when I didn't have nowhere to go and nowhere to stay, my friend used to have a shed in his back garden, but it used to have the sofa in it, it used to have a heater in it, a TV in it, where he used to chill and smoke weed in there. So he used to then sneak me in on the night, sneak me through his back garden, take the padlock off his shed and say he could stay in there for the night. So that was me really, from that age to the point where I think I got my first flat when I was 16. Didn't do enough, like one of them where I've got the flat, didn't pay nothing towards it. It's like I'm getting housing benefits sent to me. I'm getting everything. I'm 16 years old. Do you know what I mean? So I remember I got vouchers to go get some paint, from B&Q or something, so I could do the flat up. And I went and found someone in B&Q that was looking for some paint and sold them the vouchers.
Yeah.
So that I could have them half price, so I could have the money instead. So I never did note to the flat. Like Anyone that wanted to party, go in this flat and party. Anyone that wanted to stay there, stayed there. There was literally not a thing in there apart from a little tiny TV in the corner. And yeah, from there it just went downhill and downhill. I just ended up mad, doing mad shit. Then that's when it started, like, because I had beef by now. I've been robbing people. I've been doing this, been doing that. I've robbed people that I know. So it got to a point. Then I started carrying knives. And then when I was carrying knives, obviously, sometimes I'm getting locked up for something else, but I've got a big, massive thing down my pants, so I'm getting locked up for that now as well. And yeah, it just went from there. So I just started doing mad street robberies, stealing cars, pulling people out of cars. We just used to, like, literally things that you see in movies. Right, I was literally that bad. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't petty crime. It was big things.
So the first time you went to prison, what was that for, and what was that day
like? The first time I went to prison was for stealing, burglary.
How old were you then?
I wasn't young, you know. I was 20, 21.
Okay.
So I used to be worse before I went to prison. For some reason, I think because of my story.
Yeah.
I think it helped a lot in court. So I used to go get caught when I was a kid. I used to go to court when I was a kid. But it was always tag. I think they felt sorry for me. But I remember one time, I spent my life on tag when I was a kid. So from the age of 15 or 6, I think the first time I got tagged, I was 15 to my mum's house for not stealing a car, I took chasing a car. My mum had to sit in court with me and watch my chase, and she didn't even know I could drive a car. And she's watching in court, me getting chased all over Arm Lane, Leeds, in a big car.
21, you went to prison for the burglary.
Yeah, I got 2 years.
You got 2 years. What was the burglary like?
It was, I think I got £700 out of a tin. Do you know them savings tins?
What was that day like? Tell us about that day.
What was that day like? I can't remember. I just had no money whatsoever. I think, to be honest with you, I didn't even want that much money. I just needed something. I went to court, and before my sentence, they banned me from West Yorkshire. They sent me to Scarborough with a train ticket. They sent me out of court with a train ticket to Scarborough and said, that's where you're living. Here's your address. Here's a map. There's a ticket to Scarborough. On your way, you've got an hour to get out of West Yorkshire. If you get pulled in West Yorkshire in the next hour, then you'll get locked back up again. And I don't even know why. I think it was because I had such a bad criminal record without going to prison. So the amount of things I've been done for, like I say, like I was chasing cars and then getting tagged. I was breaching my tag when I was 15 years old, and then going to court, and they were just saying to me, all right, we'll give you another chance. Then the same day, I'd be on tag for getting chased in a car, and I'd go that day when my tag's on and steal a car and drive around in the car. I was that nuts. I used to pull up outside my house where my mum used to be and get out of the car and go in the house, go back outside, and get back in the car. My mum would come at the door screaming, why are you driving? Drive off like I was that kid, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was, when I was in Scarborough, they've told me I had to stay there for 6 months. They bailed me, and basically to see what my behaviour would be like in Scarborough for 6 months. But then I just started committing other crimes in Scarborough, doing things up there, and then I got locked up for something else. And they just said, right, what we'll do instead is we'll just take that back and we'll give you a prison sentence instead. So that's when I got 2 years.
So what was your time like in prison?
My first sentence, because I had never been to prison, I was shook. Like I was, and I'm 21, I'm going to a man's prison. I'm not starting off like most people will start off going to these juvies, and I'm going straight to Armley prison in Leeds, which is a big castle. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a disgusting jail. So yeah, I was shook, and I had beef. So it's like one of them ones where it's like, who's going to be here when I get there? All this sort of thing. And then, landed in prison. Obviously, just getting to the amount of people that you see, and you're like, whoa, are you in here? Are you in here? Do you know what I mean? Like, then you get to, it's kind of like ends up where, right, you've got your little few people that you know now. So you should be all right. Do you know what I mean? And then what'll happen is when you first go to prison, when you land in a new prison, you're on an induction wing. So you might get your little circle together there, but then in 2 weeks, they're coming to get you and saying you're going to a different wing. And now everything that went through your head when you come to prison is now who's on that wing? Am I going to bump into this person? Am I going to have to carry this? Am I going to have to take someone over? Do you know what I mean? Am I going to have to refuse? Am I going to have to get twisted up by the officers? And basically all that goes through your head. So then I've gone to another wing. And then I think I got stitched up. I don't know how. But this is how prison works though. So I remember I didn't know how it works with phones and people have mobiles in prison and all that sort of thing. But I knew it, but like I wasn't clued up to it, obviously, how to get away with it, what people do with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was just like one of them things. And when I went to prison, the first time I had nothing with me. So I had no bag with me, no clothes with me, no nothing. I had no numbers. So when you get to prison, you have to fill out a form to add numbers to your personal PIN. If numbers aren't on your PIN, you can't ring nobody. You can only ring numbers that are on your PIN, and you've got to apply for that. You've got to obviously fill out a form for it with everyone's number and name on it. And I couldn't do that because I've got no numbers. So I've reached out to one of the lads that I got talking to on the wing, and says, I need a phone, like I need to contact my family. They don't even know where I am. I haven't spoken to them for 3 days, nobody knows nothing. So he said, all right, no worries. And then he said, I'll try and get you one. Later on that day, he's come to my cell. It was literally bang up after association. So they're banging up now, they're walking around banging up, he's quickly running to my cell. I've gone here, I've got you one of them, use it till later on. And it was one of them slidey Walkmans, them big fat slide up ones, one of them. And he was like, just give me it back later on. So I'm like, all right, no worries. Boom, he's gone out of the cell. They've come, locked my door. I've literally waited for them to lock all the doors, and then they've walked off. So I'm thinking, right, boom, turn phone on. Obviously got to go to the window to get signal, otherwise you don't get signal. Gone to the window to get signal. Stood on there's pipes, big fat pipes like that warm your cell up. That's your radiators basically, just big pipes with hot water going through them. And stood on the pipe where the window is, and the doors just come flying open. 5, 6 officers come running in. I'll just bang to rights, drop the phone on the floor, bang to rights, got caught with the phone. And now that phone, I don't know how, like I've had the phone 10 minutes. How do these know that phone's in my cell? Do you understand what I'm saying? So in my head, loads of things are going through my head, like what's just happened, and then they've come to me and says to me, oh, you're getting a nicking, which is obviously you get placed on report. So that means you've got to go down and see the governor and get a punishment for whatever. You've got to plead guilty or not guilty. So they've come and got me. Next thing you know, they brought me a load of bags. Boom, said, pack your bags, you're going to a different wing. I said, why? They said, security move. I'm saying, I'm not even that guy. I don't even know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going on like I'm running your wing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's security move and this, that and the other. So the security moved me off the wing. Now, about a week later, my mate who I was padded up with, he's been moved off that wing. He's come to my wing and now he's back in my pad again. And he's turned around to me and he says, you know the guy whose phone it was? I said, yeah. He said, you know he got his phone back? I said, what do you mean? He says, it was a setup, like, I don't know what's happened, but the officers that took my phone, because whoever owned the phone has got his phone back, but I still owe the money for the phone. So it was like, I don't know if it was a money-making thing or someone... Back then, there was... It was a lot of extortion going on, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was people because knew I was new. I knew I hadn't been to prison before. Not many people knew who I was. There was only a set for few people that knew who I was. So I think it was more of, they knew they could get the phone back, but now I own £500. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm getting messages across to this wing now saying you owe me £500. So then when my mates come over, he's gone to come in my phone, he's like, oh, you know, I got the phone back. And I'm saying, nah, the car had done. He said, I promise you. The lad, he goes, it was a black Walkman. I said, yeah. He said, the lad whose phone it was, we've got his phone. They've set you up, you've been stitched up. So obviously I've sent messages back saying, I know you've got your phone back. One of my other mates come over, said the same thing. He's got his phone back. I don't know what the problem is because they were sending messages left, right, and centre. It all died, like it all just went quiet. Like nothing come of it, nothing got said of it. Obviously, they must have known. I know you've got your phone back, so you're not going to get no out of me. And another thing is, I didn't get a nicking. I didn't get my replaced on report because for an officer to come and say to me, "There's your report," that means you've got to show that phone as evidence to the governor, which you obviously, everything made sense. I didn't get nicked because you're giving me phone back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was like all these things are going through my head. I'm brand new. I owe £500 to these lads. I don't know nothing. What am I going to do? Then, I've been on this other wing, and slowly, one of my mates has landed, then another of my mates landed. And next thing you know, there's a good 7, 8 of us on the wing. But I was on basics where they take your TV, you don't have no association. So the punishment I got for getting caught with that phone, I did the punishment, so I was doing it. But for some reason, I don't know what it was like these lads had a hold of an officer, or 2 officers, or 3 officers, because they were just stitching me up on that wing.
Yeah.
Like, I was never allowed out of my cell. They used to talk to me like shit. They'd bring my food and just throw it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, why? Like, why am I getting treated like this when I've done like literally nothing? I haven't treated them a certain way. I haven't come and thought I was something and started turning things upside down. Like, I'm literally this quiet kid who's not done no. Do you know what I mean? So in my head, it's like all coming together. I'm thinking, these lot, they must know somebody out there. Somebody knows I'm here who wants me to have a hard time. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what it turned out to be.
Okay.
Somebody out there heard that I was in prison, got in touch with these lads and says, obviously give him a hard time, which is how it all started with the phone and everything like that. But now I'm on this other wing, but I'm getting kept on basic. You're supposed to come off it after 4 weeks. You're supposed to have a review. And if you've done all right, they just take you off a basic, give you your TV back, give you association back. 4 weeks coming, they're not even taking me to the office for a review. They're just leaving me on basic, and I'm thinking, well, what's going on here? Like, it's been 6, 7 weeks, no review. I'm putting in applications, I'm pulling in higher officers and saying, what's going on? Like, you aren't giving me a review, you just keep basic as well. Remember, you get half an hour for a shower, so 23 and a half hours a day. You've got no TV in yourself, and that's you for 23 and a half hours a day. So, and then 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, next thing you know, I'm thinking, fuck this, like, I'm gonna have to start doing something. So I remember someone told me, like, I want, like, people are getting in my head as well, I want ambulance to fire you, where, they're stitching you up. So then someone showed me, they said, if you get 2 tea bags, fold them in half, and the door, where the lock comes out the door into the wall, if you put the tea bags inside that wall, when they turn the lock, it doesn't click. So it looks like it's locked, but somebody from the outside can come and turn the handle and it'll open for you.
Yeah.
So if you do that, then what we can do is they'll think you're locked behind your cell, and when they let everyone out for association, we'll just come and open your door and you can come sit in one of our pads and then go bang yourself back up before they lock everyone up. So then it got to the point, I'm doing that 3 times a day. When in the morning, so you get 3 associations, so you'll get the morning association. People that go to work on the morning, they'll go to work. These lads will get association. In the afternoon, they'll swap over. So they'll go to work, these lads will get the association on the wing. There's people that work full time. If they work morning and afternoon, in the evening they'll get an hour for the association. But I got ahead of myself. I'm putting tea bags in the door every time. So every association, my door's getting open and I'm out. So now I'm getting more association than anyone else. I think officers must have been getting onto it. And one time I've gone, because I used to go 5 minutes before bang up, so that they don't see that in my door. So I bang myself back up, and when they walk past my door, I'm laid on my bed. So one time they've done it, and they've come, but obviously they've gone to try the handle, and the handle's turned, and it shouldn't have turned. It should be clicking.
Yeah.
And he's turned it, opened it, he's looked inside. But for that, you get treated as an escapee. So you get put in a banana suit, like full yellow banana suit. Like you get 5 man. Anywhere you go in the prison, 5 officers have to escort you. But I got lucky. So the first guy, he caught me. But it's like it got to the point where some of the officers felt sorry for me, but they couldn't do nothing about the situation. They've only got 1 stripe. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't tell the SO to let you out of your cell. So some of them, they just used to come to my door and chat to me and like say like, what is not we can do, I'm sorry, but we know it's not right. Do you know what I mean? They used to basically admit it. And then one time one of them's caught me and then he just chucked the tea bags on my floor and says, it's lucky that I've caught you, don't do it again. But obviously I've carried on doing it. When that officer's not on now, I'm thinking I can get away with it again. Another officer caught me, said the same thing, chucked it on the floor.
So why would you keep, hold on, why do you keep leaving the tea bags in the door? Are you supposed to do that?
Yeah, because obviously to stop it from clicking.
I thought
So-
if you bang yourself back up, you take them out.
No, but this is before. So when I'm banging up first, when I know I'm on basic, I
Yeah.
get that half an hour. When my half an hour's done and I'm going back to my cell, I've got to make it look like my thing's locked.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah,
you put things in your door and close your door. So when they come past your cell, you lay it on your bed. The things turn so they can't see it. So like, it's not even a bit up. It just doesn't click.
So basically,
You know what I mean?
your cell door was never locked.
No, it was. I can't open it from
Yeah,
the
you
inside.
can't, yeah, but-
somebody from the outside could just turn the handle and open it. So I was doing that all, and then the third person. By now, I've been putting in ship outs. I'm writing letters to governors saying I need to get out of this prison. Like your officers are stitching me up. I've had no TV for now 3 months probably. Like you really like it's getting to me. Do you know what I mean? And then one officer's come to my door. He was an SO, and he said, and it was the other SO that was keeping me on. SOs are 2 stripes, so it's the one higher than the 1 stripes. Obviously, normal officers. So he's come to my door and he's saying, look, he's saying it's not me, it's the other SO, but I can't undermine him.
Yeah.
If he said you've got to thingy, he says the only thing I can do is try get you a ship out. Because he was saying the same thing, like, we know they're stitching you up, do you know what I mean? Like, but I'll just jump in and try to get you a ship out. I said, yeah. But when you get shipped out to a new prison, you start from fresh. Like, you start like you with nothing wrong, do you know what I mean? So I said, yeah, please, I need out of the prison. But I carried on teabagging my door. And then the next time, the third time, this woman who hated me, she couldn't stand me. She's come, she caught me with a chisel, tried to lock my door, seen that it wasn't clicking, opened it, and she just got him out, started laughing. She went, you know you're getting nicked, don't you? So now I know now what's coming. The next morning when my nicking was supposed to come through, because they hand you your nicking the next day, and then you've got to go down the day after that to see the governor. So they're not putting you in your banana suit until that's happened. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so the next day now, I'm waiting for my nicking to come through the door. Another woman, this big butch woman's come open my door, boom, handed me about 5 bags, said you're getting shipped out. I said, you're lying, because that means now I've got away with everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got away with this teabagging, I've got away with, if I go to this jail, I'm thinking, yes, I'm buzzing. And then I went, where am I going? And then she went, you're going to Humber, you. She went, they don't like your kind down there. That's exactly the words that she said. I remember, and I thought, what have I done? Like, seriously, what have I done for this to be happening to me? And then I'm running, but when they've left me my bags, she just left my door open. She just left me now, because she knows I'm packing my bags. I've got to go to where the gates are to get to the bus. Left my door open. I'm running around to all my mates on the wing saying I'm getting shipped out. They say, where are you going? I'm saying Humber. Everyone's saying, do not go to Humber. People were saying, put a razor in your mouth and refuse to go. Because if you put a razor in your mouth, they can't force you. Because if you swallow the razor, then it's their responsibility. So if you say to them, I've got a razor in my mouth, you can't touch me, I'm not going nowhere. Back now, they don't give a fuck. But back then, they used to be wary. So they used to they'd leave you. But I remember I bumped into, well, no, not bumped into, I went to the one guy, everyone's telling me don't go, but there's one guy, G-Rat is called, good kid. I went up to him, I know he's been in every prison that he's about 50 now, and then he must have been about 30 something, and I know you've been in every prison up and down the country. So I've gone to him and I says, oh, they're sending me to Humber. He goes, oh, you're nice, you'll be all right there. I'm saying, everyone says it's racist, like everyone's saying that I'm gonna have a hard time there. He said, believe me now. He said, if anything, they're extra nice so that they don't look racist. Do you know what I mean? He says, when you go up there, believe me now, you're gonna be all right. So I'm thinking, if anyone knows, it's him.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right, no worries. Went and packed my bags, went down for the bus, landed in Humber. Now again on the bus on the way there, all these thoughts again that you have when you go into prison, all these are coming back through your mind. Who's going to be there? I'm not going to know anyone. Next thing you know, I'm on a bus with another lad who was from Halifax, and he was a very good lad, and he'd done a lot of prison himself. He'd done years for attempt murder before this sentence that he was on now. He was on a recall for a driving charge, but he went with me from Armley to this prison, and he was a Pakistani lad, and he was well known, a very well known lad. And he said as soon as we got to Humber, we're in the holding area waiting to go to the wing, the induction wing. He said to me straight away, get padded up with me, because obviously, you know, whoever you're with there, so you're getting padded up with one of them.
Yeah.
So he's pointed at me straight away, says, come, you might as well get padded up with me. So I said, all right. Next thing you know, he must have been a celebrity in this prison, because when we walked through to the induction wing, he had very high up officers come in, shaking his hand, saying, as if you're back, all this sort of stuff, like basically licking his ass, but like big officers licking his ass. And I thought, whoa, who's this guy? But then when I'm reading all his paperwork, he's showing me, I've seen that he's done a lot of jail and he's been there before. So then when we got put in the pad, he had officers coming to the door saying, do you need anything? Do you want me to go get you this? Do you want me to go get you that? And I'm thinking, whoa, like, who's this guy? Do you know what I mean? And then he's ended up being a somebody, obviously, to the officers, to the prisoners. And then he got me a status, basically, to say, yeah, this guy's verified or whatever. And then it just went from there. And then, like, in that prison, I'm not even gonna lie, like, my last name's Singh, and there's not many Sikhs in prison. It's all either white or Pakistani Muslims or black, or there's not many Sikhs. And there was another Sikh, a big, massive, well, absolutely huge. And me and this other guy has been split up now because we're only on the induction wing.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone to one wing, I've gone to another wing. And then I'm met by some big guy. He goes, Mr. Singh. And I said, yeah. Thinking, what have I done? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you know? And he goes, all right, because in jail, there's you have a chaplaincy, obviously, where you go for your service, for your religious service. And the guy that did it in that prison was the same guy that did it in Armley prison. So he's obviously known, this other lad's got status in that prison. When he's gone on to do the religious thing there, he said to him, oh, there's a lad coming from that prison, told him my name, and says when he comes, make sure he gets on your wing and make sure. So without me knowing, when I'm on the induction wing, this lad's already inquiring to the officers, getting me on his wing. So when I've gone over there, yeah, this big guy's come to me, he's like, oh, do you need anything? And I'm like, who are you? And then he explained that the Sikh chaplain from the other jail has told him to watch out for me, that I'm coming. And he literally, I'm not joking, like, if you see films, prison films, where somebody really does run a wing, like, you've got to go to him for permission to do anything. If he wanted to rob him, you'd have to ask this guy. If you want to beat someone up, you've got to go to him and ask this guy for permission to do it. He hated bullies. He couldn't stand bullies. So if he was a bully, he'd beat you up like he was. And the officers would let him beat you up. Like, that's how he had it. I'm not joking. It was mental. And now I've got this guy taking me around. He says, have you got a stereo? I said, no. He says, all right, no worries. Just took me to a guy, give him a pack of, you were allowed to smoke in prison then. Give him a pack of tobacco and says, give you stereo. The guy just turned around and says, all right, do you need a stereo? He's like, do you need this? Do you need that? I'm like, yeah, well, I ain't got no. And then he's literally gone round the wing and just paid everyone. And now I've got a pad that's
full of stuff.
Yeah. That's how it starts. So now I know in my head, that's how you do prison. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what started me off of not bothered about going back at that time, obviously. Because I thought, no, you can actually do well. I started making money, started selling things in prison, started selling spice in prison. And then he ended up like leaving. He got out, left me a phone. Then now I've got a phone, I've got this, I've got that, I've got everything going on. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, that was where I thought, oh, so it's not that bad. But in reality, it's just worse.
So you come out, so how long did you do? Because you said 2 years. So
I got 2 years, I did a year.
Yeah,
I did a year. Come home. At the time, so when I went to prison, I was wanted I was wanted because I ran away from Scarborough. Obviously, when I know now I'm going to prison, I left my house in Scarborough and just went on the run. And I went on the run for a year, a whole year. And in that year, I was with this girl. Well, I say it was about 8 months, 9 months, just before. So yeah, I was with this girl and she got pregnant. And then my mum, everyone saying to me, look, you need to hand yourself in now. Like, you're going to prison. Would you rather come home and your kid be 3 months old or go to prison and then come home when your kid's a year or 2 old? Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd rather come home when your kid's a baby. Do you know what I mean? So they all encouraged me to hand myself in. And I've handed myself in. And then I've done that sentence. And when I've come home, I don't know, there was just something about the situation. My mum was telling me to get a DNA test while I was in prison, obviously. And then I was saying, all right, no worries. But you can do it through the grandparents.
Yeah.
So my mum's saying, tell her, let me do it through me. So that when you're home, you've at peace of mind. Like, you don't have to wait till you're home to then find out. But then she was like, no, it's not strong enough, which is true. But it's still, you still can do it. They were telling them that you can do it. And she was like, no, it's not strong enough, it's not strong enough, wait till you're home. But so when I've come home now, and now I've got the stress of, is this baby mine, is it not mine? And then I didn't see the baby for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'd been home, hadn't seen her. And then one day my mum says to me, why don't you just go get the baby and see how it feels? And so then my mum's encouraged me to, I was like, no, but what if it's not my kid? And then I've bonded with this kid that's not mine. And my mum was like, but what if you don't? What if you don't bond with this kid and it is your kid?
Yeah.
So then it was like everything. My sister then started getting on top of me. So then I've ended up going and picking the baby up, come to mind. But by now, I've already been out and done the DNA test. We're waiting for the results. But the baby sat in the car seat, stood in the middle of the room, and we're all just sat looking at this baby. And I'm thinking, nah, it's not my kid. I've rang the people who we did the DNA test with, and they said, oh, we've sent the results out today. And I said, well, is there any way you can tell me the results? And they said, do you just want me to read it out what it says? I'm saying, yeah. So we're all sat there. Bearing in mind, my mum has bought, while I've been away, my mum has bought everything for this kid. Done everything, took her wherever she needed to go. But yeah, so when they read it out, they said, this has 0% of your DNA in this. So, but it turned out she was already pregnant when I met her without knowing. So she would have only been a month pregnant or just over a month pregnant. Do you know what I mean? So when they worked out the dates and everything, it worked out she was already pregnant when I met her. So then that obviously made my head then a certain way again. Do you know what I mean? Like it messed with me a certain way because I'm thinking I'm coming home to this baby, for this girl, whatever. And then yeah, so that sent me a certain way, and I just went straight back to the way I was. Like it didn't teach me one lesson. I was doing fraud. I was making money, but fast money, but then spending it fast. So I still had no money, but I think I just went on to do anything, like anything and everything. I was wild. Went back to prison again for something that I didn't do, a shooting. I went back to prison in 2019 for, my sister passed away, so my sister passed away in 2019. We found out, so basically her kid's dad, she had a baby before she passed away. And the kid's dad, we knew we didn't like him anyway, but we knew what it was like. But it was like, we either accept it or we lose her too. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it was like one of them ones. So when she passed away, they did a post-mortem and took a phone. And when we got the phone back, the officer said to my mum, there's things in that phone that you need to see. When we've looked through the phone, like, it was abusing her, do you know what I mean? And we knew she was sick. She was on dialysis in hospital 5 times a week for 5 hours a day, do you know what I mean? Like, she was really ill, very ill. So when we seen that, obviously I sent some threats. And then he believed that the person that shot at him was me. And then he rang the police. And I got locked up for discharge of a firearm with intent to endanger life. And I did 8 months on remand, I think. 8 months on remand. But I think this is what I'm not sure, but I think they asked him in his interview or in his statement, how did he know it was me? And he turned around and said, he's seen a tattoo on my neck, tattoo on my arm, and I told him, I'm going to blow your head off. That's what he said. When it comes to court, the judge says he didn't know how it came to court, how I got charged with it, because in his statement he says he's seen the tattoos, tattoo on my arm, tattoo on my neck. But the camera footage of the man that did it, he couldn't reveal. He had a balaclava on and he had clothes covering his whole body. So how have you seen a man that's pulled the trigger to have these tattoos? So I shouldn't have even been remanded for it. So yeah, I ended up getting, I got found not guilty, and then I come home from that, and then I think because my sister died, and my sister, bearing in mind, my sister was my mum, because when my mum was the way she was, my sister she was only a year and a half older than me, but she used to cook me my food. Like I'd come in and she'd made fish fingers, chips and beans, which we ate every single day. Like there was not a single day that we didn't eat fish fingers, chips and beans, because that's all that was there. But yeah, so she'd make me my food. She'd like, I don't even, it was mental. When she passed away, it was like, then my mum just died. Like that was my rock, do you know what I mean? Like she was my backbone. So yeah, and then I just went nuts from there. I used to steal a lot, and I used to rob a lot of people. I used to rob a lot of drug dealers. So if you sold drugs, people, I'm not even joking when I say it to you, no word of a lie. A lot of people will tell you the same story because people that have known me from young know. I could not ring a drug dealer for a £10 bag of weed. If I rang a dealer for a bag of weed, they know it's me. They're not coming. They're not. I promise. Like that's not a joke. Like they're not coming. That's how bad it got to. Like anyone that knew, I wasn't allowed to. It got to the point where now I have no friends. Like I have no friends. Nobody wants to be around me because I'll take what's in your pocket. Do you know what I mean? Like I was that bad. I remember my sister said to me one time, she used to get the phone calls, so she'd get a phone call. Your brother's just robbed me. Your brother's just took this. Your brother just took that. And then I'd say it to my sister. It is what it is, isn't it? So then it got to the point my sister would warn people of me. My sister would, if I got a friend, if I'm not joking, if I got a friend, my sister would pull my friend aside and say, stay away from him. It's bad news, like you don't want to be around him. He'll rob you, he'll do this, he'll do that. People didn't listen, obviously. As a thief, you've got to have the gift of the gab, do you know what I mean? So I think that's what it was. So then it was when someone's ringing her phone, I told you. Like, what you want me to do now? Yeah, I told you. So, and then I remember one time she said to me, why you got to be a tramp? Like, why you got to be a scruff? Like, make your money. Like, if you go sell drugs, if you do whatever it is you do, go do it. Don't be stealing. Stop robbing people. Stop robbing people we know. Stop making me look bad. Because, like I said, she had so much respect and a lot of people, and I was just the opposite. Do you know what I mean? I come to her school and by the end, people don't like me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so and that was one of the last things she said before she passed away. She said like, you need to stop stealing. You need to make your own money. And then, so when she passed away, I took that as I need to make money. Like I need to go home now and make you proud. I need to make a lot of money. The first thing I got into, because I knew about cars, because I used to steal cars, was buying stolen cars. So I used to look for cars that had been crashed, buy the crashed car for cheap. Then I'd get people to steal me the same car and then swap the parts over. So now I've got a brand new car for cheap, basically. And you sell the car and make money that way. But I was renting a garage. Off somebody. It was closed down, but inside it was all the equipment to wreck cars. And then that's what I started doing. And then one kid, this is how bad, like, you can get caught for something that's nothing to do with you, basically. So a kid must have stole a car. I don't know this kid, and I don't know the person that he spoke to. Never spoke to him in my life, never met him in my life. He stole a car, and he texted his friend to say, "Oh, I've got this car, so and so car. Who'll buy this car?" That guy turned around to him and says, "Oh, there's a guy called Jimmy. Yeah, but you don't even know me. They just this is just the word of mouth that I buy stolen cars." So yeah, he's texting back saying, "Jimmy, at this garage on this road, take it to him, he'll buy it," which I did. This kid now has been arrested for the burglary. They took his phone, they've seen text messages in his phone to say who will buy this car, seen my address on it to the garage that I was at. Next thing you know, the garage got raided. And then, I got locked up for that. I can't remember how long I got for that. I think I got 5 or 6 years ago.
What was the charge?
It wasn't even nothing to do with that. It was acquiring the acquisition of stolen property. That's what the
I thought they
charge
would
was.
have done conspiracy because of the.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I thought it would have, even then, stolen goods or whatever, but I've never seen that charge before where it's an acquisition of stolen property, and I didn't even know what that was. Even when I mentioned it to him, my solicitor said it's basically like stolen goods but worth a charge. I literally got out. So I did the 2.5, 3 years. Got out in 2022, I think it was. I started selling drugs. I've got out. My friend was selling drugs already, but he was struggling. Like, he wasn't making money from it. He didn't have no car. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was just doing what he could. And then I've always drove. I didn't have a license, but I've always drove. And so I've come out. I've had a car, so I'm thinking I can help you. You can help me. So then we've started selling drugs together. And then one time we've been driving. We used to bag all the drugs up at one address and then move it from that address to a different address from where the drugs used to get sold from.
Yeah.
So we've bagged all these drugs up now, and it's time to move the drugs. The one thing I always said to him, like we had this conversation, this agreement from the start. If we ever get to a point where I'm getting caught or whatever, all you need to do. I'm on license. I haven't got a driving license, and I'm on license from prison. I just got out of prison. If I get caught driving, I'm going back to prison anyway. But if we get caught with the drugs, I'm getting a lot more time than if I go back and do my recall. So in my head, I was going back. That's how fixated I was on going back to prison anyway. I said to him, if anything happens, you'll get away with that bag. You get that bag and you'll run, and I'll stay, because the first thing they're going for the driver anyway, all the time. The first person to pounce on the driver. So I said, I'll stay and I'll go do. I think I had 8 months left on my license. So he said, yeah, all right, no worries. That's exactly what's happened. We've been boxed in. Loads of police cars have come out of nowhere, boxed the car in. He's got out of the left-hand side door and just shot off. And when I say to you, not a single police officer chased him. Like, literally, they've just all come my window, window come through and everything, handcuffed straight on me, dragged me out of the car. I'm thinking in my head, he's got away with the drugs, like, it's all right, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go back and do my 8-month recall for the driving. And then they've turned around and says, while I'm in the back of one police car, they've turned around and says, oh, why have you, just told the other officer, come round here, have a look at this. I'm thinking, is there anything that I forgot that I've left in the glove box or whatever? They've gone round, next thing you know, they've come back round, you're under arrest for possession with intent to supply Class A drugs. I'm like, what's going on here? In my interview now, bearing in mind, I've tried to give a fake name. So I've given my cousin's name, who I've given before, who's got a driving license and can drive any car. If the car's insured, he's allowed to drive that car. So every time I used to get pulled, I used to give that name. They'd pull the picture up and say, yeah, no worries, let me go.
Yeah, that's racist.
To be fair, we do look similar. But yeah, so they pull the picture up and say, yeah, no worries. So I think now, he's got away with the drugs. If I get away with this now by saying this, I'm this person, I'm driving that car away. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going away, I'm free. So I've given this guy's name now. When they've gone, I didn't know when my mate jumped out of the car to drive off, the door slammed back shut on the bag. and cut the bottom of the bag. So now all the drugs have come out onto the bottom of all in the passenger footwell and outside the car. I'm thinking, I don't know that's there. But now I got to the police station, I still don't know what drugs they found. So I'm thinking that they're bluffing. I'm thinking they haven't found out. My mate's got away with all drugs. So I'm still carrying on as my cousin. So now they've come to interview me. I know I can't ask for my normal solicitor because my solicitor's going to turn up and say, why is this name on here? This is not you. And he's not allowed to represent me as someone else, knowing that I'm somebody else.
Yeah.
So I had to get a duty solicitor. So the solicitor's turned up, interviewed me as him. I've then gone back to my cell. About 2-3 hours later, they've come back, opened my door. This guy's got a big smile on his face. I'm thinking, what's he smiling at? And he's like, come on, we need a word with you. I said, all right, no worries. So then they took me to a room, one of the interview rooms, opened the door. The solicitor that I've just used is sat there. And she's looked up at me, she went, Mr. Singh. And I says, obviously that's not his name, that's my name. So I've looked and I said, how do you know? She went, because they've been to the other guy's house to search it for drugs. And he's on holiday, so they've kicked his door off and searched his house for drugs that aren't there because he's not. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now they've had to, when you get arrested, you take your fingerprints and everything. I'm thinking, I thought in my head, that's to check who you are. But I didn't know all that does is add that data to your file. So if I say I'm this person, if I'm Joe Bloggs, when I get my fingerprints took, they're just adding that to Joe Bloggs' file. They're not checking them fingerprints to see who that person really is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're just adding the fresh set of prints. So I'm thinking in my head, how do they know? So then they turn around after and said, because we had to go back and run your fingerprints through, like you give us, and found out it was you. Now they're interviewing me as me, and they're pulling pictures out, and all the pictures is just drugs all over my passenger footwell and outside of the car. So I'm thinking, how has that happened? And then obviously it come to my head, it's obviously the bag split. I found out after anyway, the bag split and the drugs went all over. So now I am having to go guilty. Like I could still, like, a guy's run off. You know, a guy's run off. You say you've asked me who this guy is that's run off. Yeah. So I know that you know this guy's run off. You are now asking me who it is. I know if I go not get, I could easily say to you now, well, why didn't you chase him? There's drugs all over. He's run off with a bag. There's drugs all over the passenger side and outside that side. Not to do with me. I don't know what he had in that bag. But in my head, I thought, I'm going to jail now anyway because they know who I am and I've been caught driving. So no matter what, I'm going to do 8 months. So there's no point 2 of us going to prison if I say that, because now if I say that, you're going to go run fingerprints on all them bags. If you run fingerprints on them bags, my mate's getting caught. So I think, forget it, I'm going to jail anyway. So I turn around and says, yeah, I don't mind. Went guilty in court. Got 6 years in court, for just five I think I got for it, because it was a first strike. I've never been to jail for drugs before. So because of I only got 5 because of the amount of drugs, not because of anything else. So there was so I ended up getting 5 years, just over, I think. And then they've turned around and says, oh, no, then the friend that I was with, he's now learned, he's seen me go to prison for this and gone and got a job, gone legal. He's fully legit. He converted to Muslim. He fully, it scared him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. His life now is different, but then while I was in prison, he come and see me once, at the whole time. I just got 6 years. I've got to do 3 years. He come and see me once in that 3 years. And then towards the end of it, I've reached out to him to say, look, I'm coming home. And he sent me a message saying, no offence, but being around you will either get me sent to jail or killed. So I can't be around you no more. I've changed my life. I've got a job. Rare. But I'm thinking in my head, if I had have gone not guilty, if I had have said they're not my drugs, even though there was half my drugs, but I know I could get away with saying they're not to do with me, yeah? I know full well I can do that and go do my 8-month license and be home in 8 months' time. I know I can do that. But for the sake of you, for the sake of two of us not going to prison because they're not good at any of it, I thought if I go to prison now, you've got me. Like, I've got you away from this. You're not getting charged with nothing. You've got me. Like, I'm not even saying financially. I'm saying you've got, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, you'd just be there. Like, even if I need you to go pick something up or nothing like that, or if I need anything, do you know what I mean? It could be anything whatsoever. I think, yeah, he'll have me. So there's no point two people. I made a song about this as well.
But do you think as well that he probably thought the same thing?
What do you
Like,
mean?
as in, like, he probably thought because you went to prison, you went to prison for him, he probably thought you were probably going to come out and get him to do, like, I don't know, madness.
I don't know. Do you know what it is? I think it's because with me, he's been in a few sticky situations. And I think that was the final straw for him. But I don't think he thought of what I've just done to keep you out of that situation. For me, if somebody did that for me, well, I might say to them, respectfully, I'm not getting in your car again. Respectfully, I'm not doing this. You're my guy, but like, I'm not being in that situation with you no more. If you want to go for food, let's go for food.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and the tightness of the brotherhood that we had was unbreakable. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it was tight. So, obviously, in my head, I'm thinking, wow, like, I've not only now I've lost my friend, he's turned his back on me. Like, he wouldn't even answer the phone. When I've come home, he didn't. I've reached out to him. He didn't say no. Like, he literally. And I'm thinking in my head, wow, like, I never again in my life would, because it was half his. It was half his stuff. If I don't have to say the half his.
Yeah.
All I have to say is they're not mine. You understand what I'm saying? That all that had to come out of my mouth to the people. They're not mine. I don't know what you're on about. Someone's run off. But because I thought about him and thought about I'm going to prison for 8 months, what's the point of him coming to prison with me? I then turned around to him and says, no, the drugs are mine. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's a big, for somebody, I don't know, like, for somebody legal, that might not, they might think, well, you should have done that anyway. But somebody that comes from where I come from, for me to turn around and take that sentence on my own without that person is a big thing, obviously. That's owed a lot of respect.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I was owed. That's all I wanted. I didn't want more money. I didn't say to you, you owe me 10 grand. I've just done however many years in jail for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which is a lot of people would have said.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have said, you owe me money. I've just done jail for you. You owe me this, you owe me that. I didn't say, like, none of that was going through my head. All I was thinking is, right, if I need this, he's got me. If I need him to do this, he's got me. If I need him to do that, he's got me. If my mum needs taking somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, it could be anything whatsoever. It was the fact that he just fully, like, there was no getting hold of the guy. Do you know what I mean? Then he sent me a message with the message that he sent to say, I can't be around you no more, I can't do this no more, or whatever. It was like a breakup. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was like, it was me sat there then thinking, right, now I'm in prison and you've just done that. If I was in that situation again, I would say, no, they're not my drugs.
So you went, I know you said you went 6 times, but at what point did you say, okay, I'm tired of doing this now?
Time. So what happened was, I did half of that sentence with my man were there. I still got out, but I got out this time. I did a thing on that sentence called the TSP course, which I got forced to do. I had to do it to get out early on tag. So they said that if you want to get home on tag, you've got to do a TSP course, which is a thinking skills course. And normally it's when you've committed a bigger crime or if you keep reoffending, they make you do that course. So because I kept reoffending and it was a bigger crime, just turn around and says to me, right, you need to do, it's part of your sentence plan before you go home, you've got to do a TSP. This thinking skills program, I'm thinking bullshit, like, I'll go do it, yeah, but in my head I'm thinking I'm going to go sit in there, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, get my thing and go. But they make you get involved, like, you have to go in and cooperate and speak and slowly it's like I was getting into it, like I was seriously, like, I become a big personality in the room for other people are asking me things now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it got to a point where I'm saying things that I would never think I'd say. Do you know what I mean? Like the things are coming out of my mouth that I never thought. And after I did the TSP course, I actually started to put things into use from that course. Like I started to think about things, I started to weigh up options, I started to like a lot of things come into consideration before I made a choice. Do you know what I mean? So then I thought, and not just that, I've just done my longest time as well. And I had a really good job, like I had a trusted job in prison. I built myself up. I got a lot of respect from prisoners and officers. So I got to a certain point where I was comfy, but I know now what I need to go do. I've got my head now in a place where I need to go home and know what I need to go do. So I've come home now, and when I've come home, the police was watching me. So they're watching me. They sat outside my house. I don't know this. They sat outside my house. I've obviously got money and clothes from before I went to prison.
Yeah.
I've got my car bought from before I went to prison. There were so many things I had before I went to prison from the money that I was making from what I was doing. And bearing in mind, I'd only been out 12 weeks from when I got caught with the drugs. I'd been out 12 weeks before my last charge. So in that 12 weeks, the money that I made was enough to buy £3,000 outfits and whatever. If my car was £10,000, you know what I mean? I had no job. And so that was what it got to. And when I've come home, I'm obviously wearing clothes. I've just been to prison for a long time. I'm come home and I'm utilising everything that I bought. I'm still driving my car, I'm still wearing the clothes that I bought, but I'm not committing crimes. I'm in a situation where I can come home and I'm all right for a bit. Do you know what I mean? So in my head, I'm thinking I'm not doing nothing. Like I'm chilling. I've come home. I'm obviously on probation. I'm on license again. I'm on probation. One day I've walked into probation. Probation slapped a load of pictures out of me coming out of my house, getting into my car, and then saying, "How did you afford that outfit? How did you afford that outfit? How did you afford that? How have you afforded your car?" And I turn around to him and I says, I could lie to you. You've probably heard all the stories in the world. Like I could say my clothes are fake. I could say my parents have bought me, or friends and family, girlfriends, whatever, have bought me it all or give me it all. I said, I've just been to prison for 3 years for a crime that I did before. Yeah, I've come home now and I've got these assets from before I went to jail. I've just done the time for it. You can't re-sentence me for something because now I'm spending money or because I'm using whatever I've had my punishment for it. I'm not going to come out and throw everything away when I've just done 3 years for it. They was like, oh, we just had to ask. I'm saying, why are police outside my house? They said, look, you've been to prison so many times. They're obviously going to be wary and watching what you're doing. I'm thinking, all right, no worries, I'm not doing that anyway. I've left probation. They've acted now. In my head, I've walked out of probation. Boom, they've said, we just needed to ask you. This is what's happened. We've been sent these photos by the police. We just needed to ask you. 2 days, that was on the Wednesday. On the Friday night, I'm on tag, by the way, so they know I'm at home. I can't go nowhere. They've come to my address. Police have knocked on my door. Obviously, I'm thinking in my head, nah, this is weird. I've gone upstairs, opened the upstairs window. I said, what's up? They said, oh, all we can say is that you wanted for recall back to prison. And I'm saying, nah, I'm not going back to prison. I said, you are. Looked out the back, all police are out the back. I'm thinking in my head, I'm going back to prison. So I'm sat figuring out how I'm getting away from this situation. And the more I deeped it, like I smoked weed at the time, so I just roll a joint. And then because they know I'm going to prison, they know I'm not getting out of that house. So they're either coming in or I'm coming out. So because I'm making it harm, longing it out, they know I'm going to be a problem now. I know I'm going back to prison. I know I'm getting in that van, going to the police cells and waking up tomorrow on a bus to prison. So they know I'm going to be a problem. So I'm just sat at the window smoking my weed. And I had a pizza as well. My pizza arrived just before they come. I still like my pizzas. So yeah, I'm eating the pizza, smoking my joint on the window, just chatting to them, saying, you might as well go away because I'm not coming out. Just trying my luck, knowing that I'm coming out. And they was like, oh no. Then one of them turned around and said, listen, we're going to sit outside, yeah? We won't knock on the door. We won't bother you. We're going to all stay here. And when you're ready to come out, when you've had your pizza, when you've smoked your joint, come out and deal with whatever you're dealing with. And I know there's no point me telling you a big sob story because you've been sent to take me to prison. You've just got my name on a paper saying recall. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I know no matter what I say to you, you're taking me to prison. So then I'm thinking, nah, I'm just longing it out, get a shower, get changed, and then half of my clothes was at a different address. And I thought, I'm going to prison, I need all my clothes. So then I've opened the window and I said to him, I said, I'll tell you what'll make me come out right now. He said, what? I said, one of you go to this, it was like a 10-minute drive. I said, go drive to this address, ask him for my clothes, he'll give me my clothes, bring them back. If you turn up at this house now with my clothes, I'll come out. But next thing you know, 10 minutes later, to come knock to my door. But obviously the rest of them obviously stayed there, knocked back on the door, looked out the window, bag of clothes, I've got your clothes here. All right, cool. And then, yeah, packed the rest of my stuff, walked out. They even took me, I don't even know, like, they must have felt that, I don't even know why, like, never in my life have I been checked like that from police, do you know what I mean? But, like, they took me for something to eat, they know I'm going to prison, do you know what I mean? But I think the scene that I wasn't a dickhead, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't come out kicking off, I just basically knew I was going back to prison. I opened the door for them. And then, yeah, they took me to get something to eat, then took me to the cells, and then, yeah, next day back in prison. This is how bad it was. So I've got 2.5 years left on license, and that's what I had at the time. So in my head, I'm thinking, am I going to go back for another 2.5 years now and I haven't even committed a crime? And I'm thinking, nah, like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm going to get out. Boom, I've landed back in prison straight away. So you have an OMU worker in prison, which is your inside probation. So you have your probation outside of prison, and then it's like a probation worker inside of prison. Yeah. So they're the ones that deal with all your inquiries for what goes on out there, for whatever you're in prison for, whatever your sentence plan, all that. So then my OMU workers, I've never in my life, like, I've done 6 sentences, 6 times, sorry, I've been to prison. Never has the OMU worker come within the first 2 days to explain anything. You're normally waiting ages, you're waiting weeks. Someone's come to my door, says, I'm your OMU worker. I'm thinking, oh, that was quick. And it says, oh, do you know why you're being recalled? I says, no. It says, so under suspicion of being criminally active. I says, what do you mean? He says, well, they think that you're criminally active, which is why they've recalled. I said, how can they think that I'm...
So you send someone to prison because you think?
Yeah, so I said, so because they think that I'm committing crimes, I've been recalled. I said, yeah. When it comes to recall, all it takes is a manager at probation to sign a piece of paper. They don't care what reason. You don't get to stand in front of a judge and say guilty or not guilty. Like, if that manager in that probation signs that piece of paper, you're getting recalled. So I'm saying, so when they called me in for the meeting, the manager walked away knowing, because I had to have the meeting with the manager there when they pulled the pictures out. So I said, the manager must have known when she walked away that she was going to recall me. He said, yes, she would have done. So I said, well, why she let me walk away acting like, yeah, it's fine for me then? And he said, because that's how it is. It saves you kicking off at probation or whatever. So now I'm thinking, so I'm saying, what's going on then? And he says, well, now we have to go for parole. So I said, when's parole? He says, well, I'm going to file for a paper hearing, which is where I don't have to go sit a hearing. They can just, my solicitor can send some paperwork off, and hopefully I'll get a paper hearing and get out, because I ain't got another charge, there's no other charges. So I said, how long will that take? He says, well, this was in August, the beginning, I think it was the 4th of August I got recalled. He says, you won't be able to get a paper hearing until at least October, November. So I'm saying, so I've got to do now 3-4 months without, I ain't even committed another crime, whatever. And he's saying, yeah, basically, we've just got to go through the paperwork. So I'm saying, all right, no worries. I'm in my head, I'm going home. I have not done nothing wrong. I am going home. Next thing you know, when it's getting closer to the time, my paper hearing's gone through. The police have then, because the police have to, it's their part of your paper hearing, they have to get information from the police. Yeah. And they have to ask the police if the police think you're fit to be on road. It's not. They haven't got a big say, but they have got an input. They can say, well, we don't think whatever, and that's what the police did. The police said, we think he hasn't learned. We think he's still criminally active. They said, right, we've got to. They've asked something higher from the police. They've asked for paperwork. They've asked for this. They've asked for that. They've asked for what do you call it? Not information, intelligence. They said, all right, so what intelligence have you got to for your reasons of not wanting him to be out of prison? And so what they did, because they knew they wouldn't have any intelligence, they've obviously been watching me and seeing that I'm not committing no crimes.
Yeah.
But I'm living all right. So how am I living all right if I'm not committing no crimes? So then I think in my head it's jealousy, bitterness, or whatever. And then so they've turned around and then they said, oh well, the person that has to write the report is not back. They're on annual leave for however many weeks. So it got adjourned. My parole hearing, my paper hearing got adjourned. When it's been adjourned now, I'm just sat waiting weeks. Boom, police reports didn't come back. It's now getting towards December. I'm thinking, whoa, like what's going on? I'm ringing my solicitor, flipping on my solicitor, like I'm just thinking of everything that I can do. I'm going mad at my OMU worker. And then they're saying there's nothing we can do until the police send that report back. The parole board aren't hearing nothing until the police send the report back. The police have then sent, obviously on purpose, sent the wrong information. So then the parole board have to now request the right information. It's coming to March, April, May. I've nearly now done a year for not committing another crime. I'm thinking, well, what's going on here? Next thing you know, I get a letter through the thing, my parole's been knocked back, the paper has been knocked back. But that's because the time that they've had me in there now, I'm going nuts in prison. Like I'm not I'm getting nickings left, right, and centre. I'm misbehaving, but now they're using my behaviour in prison as a reason to keep me in prison. But I'm saying to them, I shouldn't be here. They're saying you've done this, and this in prison. I'm saying I shouldn't be in prison to have done that in the first place.
Yeah.
They say I was buying phones left. I'd get caught with a phone and buy a phone the next day, and get caught with that phone and buy a phone the next day. That's how it got to the point where I just give up with anything. Do you know what I mean? So then they've kept me in. Then you have to, after your paper hearing, they'll adjourn that and say, right, we're not giving you a paper hearing. You've got to go for a proper report, a proper parole hearing where you stand in front of 3 people and you've got to give the reason why you think you should be allowed to go home. All right, when's that going to be? In October.
Nah.
So now I've got to wait 5-6 months now again for my parole hearing to come. In that time, so now I'm thinking, yeah, I need to behave myself now. If I behave myself in these 6 months, then it's fine. So I knew like this. You have to make a living in prison. If you don't, you can have £1 million out here, but you can only spend £20 a week in prison. So if you don't have a prison hustle, if you don't have something going on in prison, you're just living like any other tramp. Do you understand what I'm saying? So because of the first time, when I said to you the first time I went to prison and I seen how certain people had it, when I've been going back to prison, I'm in my mentality as being that person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's how I ended up having it a lot of the times. So when I've gone back on the last time, what I did was I said, I'm not working. I'm not going in no workshop packing tea packs. I'm not going in no plumbing course. I'm going on pure educational programs. Anything that can educate me, anything that can give me a qualification to say I can do this, I will do. Because now I know you're messing about. Like, so I went through the first year of just getting pure nickings, just getting into trouble for everything. And then after, like, I sat down to myself and thought, I could be doing another year and a half. Like, this really, like, it is where I am now. Like, there's no going home yet. I've got to wait another 6 months for a parole hearing. So I'm thinking in my head, that's what I've got to do. So then I've started to get on courses. I did a drug and alcohol awareness course, and then I think one of the officers in there come to me and says, "You'd be a good mentor. Like, a lot of people look up to you. Like, a lot of people that had problems, officers had asked me to go speak to him. Like, that's sort of what it got to. Officers would say, oh, he's a bit upset or whatever. He's got this going on out there. Obviously, an officer can't go sit and talk to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So can you go sit and talk to him and make sure everything's all right? So I become that person. And then one of the officers says to me, do you wanna do a mentoring course? I says, what do you mean? He says, you can get a level 3. And I'm saying, level 3, wow, like, and they're saying, yeah, we don't put you forward for it. So I'm like, yeah. Next thing you know, I'm on this level 3 mentoring course. And then I was, without knowing, I was mentoring people in the mentoring course. Like, I was like the person that was helping other people and doing it. And I'm thinking in my head, am I that guy? Like, I must be that guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then like it totally changed my mindset. I then for 12 weeks I did the course, passed the course, and the guy that run the mentoring course asked me to be the mentor. So he says, now you can have a job in the jail as a mentor, which is the highest paid job in prison at that time. In that prison, it was the highest paid job that you could have. So I'm thinking, yeah, buzzing. They said, he put me as a mentor in there. Then he was like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you do out there? I said, I do music. I write music. I make music videos. I said, all sorts. I said, I do a bit of videos on TikTok. I said, I do this, I do that. He said, all right. He said, do you want to get into designing your own logos and stuff like that? And I'm saying, what do you mean? He says, there's another course that someone else runs, and it's a digital marketing and graphic design course, 2 courses in one. You do 2 weeks of one and 2 weeks in the other, and then you can come back and be the mentor in here if you want. So I said, all right, no worries. So he's basically trying to get me as much. He sees something in me basically. So he's saying, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? So I'm thinking, yeah, all right. So now I've done a digital marketing level 2. The woman says to me, do you want to stay on to do the graphic design course? I said, what do I do there? I said, you design logos, and if you're ever out there and need to design a logo, and then you need to design a business and brandish your business, she said, I can teach you how to do it all. So I'm like, all right, no worries. And then I enjoyed that much. I ended up being a traitor and becoming the mentor in digital marketing and graphic design. So now I'm teaching people how to do digital marketing and how to design logos. So I'm thinking like at this time now, and in my head, I'm thinking, this is good. Like, this is where my head needs to be. This is where I need to be thinking of for when I'm going home. And then I've done all this, but at the same time, because I've got things going on in the prison, illegal activity in the prison, it's like I still have to be that guy. So now I'm juggling, like, am I a good guy, am I a bad guy, but so in my head I'm both now. Like, I might be doing this on the wing, but when I come to work here, I don't do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then it was a juggle between everything, like, what am I gonna do? And then yeah. So then when I've gone back to the wing, when I'm going back to the wing every day, I'm thinking, what do I do? Then they've put me onto another course. No, I got shipped out. So this is what happened. I got my parole was coming up, and because other things were going on the wing, there was I was getting caught for things, but not getting into trouble for them because other people were saying, "Oh, that was mine. I left it in his cell." Or I'd have a cellmate who I'd say to him, "There's £1,000. You say it was yours."
Yeah.
Then that's what had happened, and then like it got to the point where now they know what I'm doing, but you can't punish me for nothing because someone's admitting it every time and saying it's theirs. So how can you now get around that? So what they started doing was I had a job at like as the mentor. I had a job. They started doing things what would lose me that job. So I'd get into trouble for something. Someone else would admit it, but then the high officer turned around and said, "Nah, I'm not having it. He's losing his job. I'm not having it. Like, I'm not hearing it. It's happening too many times. Whatever." Then they started gathering intelligence on me. So they started watching myself, seeing what was going around in myself. They purposely give me a job on the wing because that means now I am out on the wing all the time. So now you can watch me more. You can see whose cell I'm going through. You can see all these things. So now gathering, I've got all this. What I'm saying now, I've got in a big dossier at home. Like, it's in my pad, like in my pad in my bedroom. But yeah, I've got a big dossier like that, and it tells you everything that they was watching me doing. So now I'm thinking, like, I had phones on the wing, I had all sorts going on, and yeah, then they've turned around, and so it's coming up to my parole now. I'm thinking I'm squeaky clean. I am squeaky clean. I am going home now. So I've probably done just over a year, and then come to my parole. And in my parole, they were just pulling out all sorts of intelligence that they've got gathered, saying that they know I'm doing this and they know I'm doing that. But because other prisons had the same intelligence, that's what ruined it. So because when I'm then turning around and saying, wait a minute, like, what have I been in trouble for? You might have this intelligence to say this is what you think I'm doing, but what have I been in trouble for? What in the last year? What have I been in trouble for? So besides before I started behaving, in the last 6 months of after that, what can you say that I've done wrong? So and then the parole, the head of the parole, the middleman, he said himself, he says, we all know the big dogs don't get caught. So then I know in my head now, I already know you're not sending me home. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know in your head you must think that I'm some big guy on the wing that's doing more than whatever I'm doing anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he said that to me. So now I know I'm not going home. But now because I've been squeaky clean on paper, I've just got my Cat D. I'm going to an open prison. So I'm thinking, well, I'm not getting my parole, fuck my parole. I'm going to an open prison anyway. I'm getting home leaves. So even if my last year, I'm going home 5 days out of the month. All right, cool, no worries.
Yeah.
So then I've ended up going back, going to the Cat D. Bumped into my OMU worker at the Cat D. My OMU, I said, oh, when do I get my home leaves? She said, no, because you're high risk of reoffending, you don't get a home leave for about 10 months. I said, I've only got 12 months left. So I said, why have they sent me to a Cat D prison when I can't even get home? So you're telling me I've got to sit here and watch everyone go home and then come back and tell me stories about their home leaves? And I said, nah, I'm not having it. I went, send me back. Send me back. I said, there's no point me being here. And she was like, we can't send you back. There's no spaces. It don't work like that. I said, all right, no worries. When I bought a phone, so I used to fall asleep every night with my phone on my chest. So when they come round and do the checks, they come in my cell, take the phone off my chest, they'd give me my nick in, I'd go down to see the governor. Normally in a Cat D prison, you're gone. You're gone. But right now, it's the crisis of the overload in prison. So I'm going down to the governor. I'm saying to the governor, send me back to Cat C prison. He's saying I can't do that. I'm saying, right, there's no space. I'm saying, what do you mean? I've just been called on the phone. Like, how can you say you're not sending me back to a prison? He said, I can't do it. We got nowhere will accept you. So I said, all right, no worries, I'll just go buy another phone. I'm telling the governor, I'll go buy another. And in Cat D prisons, phones are the same price as out here. You can get an iPhone 8 for £100, same as in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mental in the Cat D prisons. So I'm saying to the governor, I said, I'm just going to go back to I'll make it worse. I'll go buy weed, everything. I'll get whatever I can. I'm going to flood your jail if you don't get me out of here. He's saying, go do what you're doing. That's what he said to me, his words, I can't get rid of you. Now I've told them, so now they're just going to come spin my pad whenever they want, because I've told them now. So the next day, they'll come spin my pad, found me with weed and an iPhone, took me down from my nicking. But in that jail, they'd give you your nicking at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you've got 2 hours to prep yourself. So by 10 o'clock, you're going to see the governor. So I'm going to see the governor the second time. The governor's came around and says, and now I'm making TikToks from prison, in prison. I'm putting them on TikTok, right? So now everyone can see my face. I'm blatantly telling them, like, get me gone. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then they turn around to me the second time and says, no, we can't get rid of you. They give me a punishment of losses, basically. Took my TV, but the thing is, I'm in an open prison. They can't lock your door. They can lock your door, but you can open your door. Yeah. There's no two locks like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, your door's open all night. You're just not allowed outside after 7 o'clock, but you can go in each other's pad. So you can take my TV, I'll go sit in the main pad next door and watch his TV. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was going through at the time. Like, I'm now going through the mental thing of just being knocked back my parole. So I'm not getting my parole. You've sent me to a Cat D prison where I can't get home news. So now I'm taking the piss. And then they sent me from there. They kicked me out in the end because I literally did that. I took the piss. I was on TikTok every night, TikTok lives, fully taking the piss. And then they kicked me out and then they sent me to a disgusting Cat B prison called Risley. And Cat C prison called Risley. And there it was like, call it Grizzly, that's what they called it. And that was in the northwest, near Manchester, Warren it was. And then when they sent me there, I'd kind of gone there with a mindset again of grafting, being a drug dealer, selling drugs in there. And then I did that. And then I don't know, I just turned my life upside down. And it's like, cause now I have on my security file all the things that they're watching me doing. They know I'm dealing with phones, they know I'm dealing with drugs, they know I'm dealing with this, dealing with that. So like now I've landed there, they know what to watch out for. So now they're just coming in my cell constantly. Like literally 2 or 3 times a week. People get spun if they know you're doing something once a month or twice a month, whatever. I was getting spun 3 times a week. They were coming up like 3 times a week, turning my head upside down. And it got to a point where I thought, shit, like I'm having a hard time again now. Do you know what I mean? Like you're taking my TV and spending all the time on basic again. I'm getting blocked off. Like I'm down the block for a week at a time. And then it got to the point where I thought, do you know what it is? And the best thing that could happen there, they turned that prison to a sex offenders prison. So they kicked us all out. So now they're kicking us out, and then I get a fresh start again in another prison. They sent me to a place called Lancaster Farms. So when I've gone there, they said, what do you like doing? I said, I'm not working. I said, don't try to give me a job. I said, anything educational, don't try to give me a job. They said, do you like cooking? I said, yeah. They said, all right, we've got catering course for you to do. I said, what's that? I said, cooking, level 2 cooking course. I said, all right, no worries. Then I've learned to be a restaurant quality chef. They've taught me, they've trained me how to be a restaurant quality chef. Then they've seen on my file that I've got a mentoring qualification. So they turn around and says, do you want to be the mentor on this course once you complete the course? I said, yeah. So then I've now got that. I'm building back to that mindset again now. Yeah. So for the last 6-7 months, now I'm a mentor again in prison. But at the time, I'm thinking, this is me. Like I help people. Like I've spent all my life taking from people and doing bad things to people, things that I don't ever want to, I can't even talk about, but yeah, there's mental things where I think I owe now. I used to think the world owes me something, but it got to a point now I owe the world something. I've done so much badness. I owe things off, so I think that's what then changed my mindset and changed me to end up doing good things and just helping people. Like I do, like I did before I was taking. I used to take my son to town and to feed the homeless. So then I'd go I'd go to Pound Bakery, spend like £40 on. I think they used to give you 2 pasties for £1, so you don't get like 80 pasties. I'd go to town and fill bags up with crisps and drinks. I'd go around with my son and just hand them all out, things like that. And in my head, I'm using drug money, but I'm thinking in my head that this is the how I'm giving back to people. You know what I mean? And from there, my mindset just elevated and elevated. Like now, I'm a youth worker. I do youth work, voluntary. Okay. Because I've only been out of prison. I've only been out of prison 6 months. I got out of prison in February. Okay. So I started getting paid, but I was doing it voluntary for a while, and then and I was doing that from being out of prison for maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, because of my mentoring qualification and because of the quality that I had. My mum got in touch with somebody because she's a drugs worker. She obviously is involved in loads of different things. Got in touch with her friend. Her friend's got in touch with his friend. They told me to come down, and I said, "Yeah, like we prefer people like you who have been through things and have done things and have been through a lot. Obviously, there's not many things that I couldn't give advice about out there. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think that's what it was. And then, yeah, and started doing that. So that's what I'm doing right now. Oh, that's good. Thank you for sharing your story. So yeah, continue to be successful and continue to be youth working because I think like kids, they don't listen to people that ain't been through it. No, there's no. You don't know anything. I think that's what it was. I think they tried me. They took me out one time, and then they get tricked like police. They're wearing a badge. They're wearing fleece with jeans or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Where I'm going out like this. Yeah. And I think they've seen how attractive people got to me naturally, how much people trusted me, how much people would talk to me. Like I went out the first time and they was getting asked by the kids, is he coming back next time? Is he, you know what I mean? And then I think it was like one of them things like, right, we'll give him a chance.
Yeah, I think it's even like relatable.
Yeah.
That's like,
Definitely.
yeah. Have you gone down to the store, tell the people where they can find you?
you.
The way they can find you, let the people know where
I'm right now releasing lots of music. My music's coming out on a YouTube channel called Jimmy27. And my TikTok is Jimmy27. And that's where I'm putting out most of my stuff right now. Until probably in a couple of weeks, I'll be making a Spotify and Spotify, and I'll be uploading music on there, SoundCloud, all that sort of stuff. But because I've only just got back into music, for now it is YouTube.
All right, and that's a wrap. Thank you.
Yeah.